Welcome to the Loveland Report and Lone Ranger Show. This is Cleve Loveland. We're starting our final segment here. We've talked about 2025 being a better year than 2024. We talked about how mortgage rates should come down. Your prices will keep going up. We talked about our leapfrog program happening on the 22nd. This segment, I want to talk about location, the three most important things in real estate. Real quick, I'm going to do some listings here. I've got one for $399.9, 2,400 square feet. This is in Kissimmee. 4-bedroom, 3 baths. Now, this is the thing to look at for resale value, Bruce, and for rental income. You're looking around a couple neighborhoods and you're qualified to 420, and you see some homes that are 2-story, 4, 2.5, or they're 4 2s. You want to get usually most people want as much square footage as they can get, of course, but also single story, but with that 3rd bathroom, and usually the way they set them up, there's a 3-way split. There's an in-law suite on one end with its own bathroom. There's 2 rooms for the kids to mess up. Then you got the master on the other side of the house. So these kinds of things, that's what's important when you hire your agent to help you buy something.
Absolutely.
Whether it's your investment or where you're going to live, you got to look at something like that.
Well, a lot of families are moving generations in together.
Yeah.
Right. So, if you want 2 masters or make it comfortable for grandma and grandpa on the other side of the house,
I've got a couple of those.
You've got to have that right type of property.
The in-law suite or the outlaw suite. So it can be the unair conditioned metal shed out back for the outlaws.
That's where we're going to put grandma.
And then I've got the 420,000. This is in Tuscaloosa, a tennis villa, 1,500 square feet, 2 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, plus a den, all renovated. Beautiful renovation. And this neighborhood is where people kind of downsize in Tuscaloosa, still want to stay close to that great golf club they have there. And then I've got that home in Metro West I talked about for $620,000. It is the best price pool home in this zip code and the zip code south of it. 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, Brazilian cherry wood floors. My owner said he was going to be listening to the show. Make sure I mention his Brazilian cherry wood floors.
Beautiful.
Master on the first floor. Sitting area in the master, like room for a den with a triple-sided fireplace in there.
An en-suite.
Yes, and a walk-in closet. Just a great layout. Tub and shower in the master bath. That's $620,000. So give me a call if you want to take a look at any of those. We'll be able to help you with your next home or your next investment property. And that's one thing I do, Bruce. We talk about leapfrog, and I've had some people, they're just astonished when they call me about listing. And I say, well, wait, why don't you just rent this? Your mortgage payment's $1,500. You're going to rent for $2,700. Why don't you talk to Bruce about doing your next property?
Absolutely.
And the down payment is usually what they do, but they just go in with a 5 or 3, 5, 10% down payment, which is what you can do with all the products you have. Because that's one thing you do have is a lot of products.
I have a ton of products, and a lot of folks are looking. I had a call just yesterday from one of our listeners that he lives in the Villages. He's got a $700,000 house. He only owes $85,000, but his wife needs some medical attention, and she wants to move back to Pennsylvania, but he doesn't want to go back to Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
So they want to ultimately sell the home in the Villages, buy a home for him down here and a home for her up there, downsize to each one.
Yep.
Right. So he can go back and forth with her and she can be with family up there. So these are all things. He called me about a bridge loan, and I looked at it and I went, Mike, you don't want a bridge loan. You got the equity in this. Let's just take out a little bit of equity out of the one you have. Let's go buy the one in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Do a mortgage on it if you want to, or pay cash for it. And then we'll do another mortgage on the one down here.
Yep.
But we can make it simple. People want to make things so complicated. So I dummy it down so we can keep things simple. If you want somebody that will dummy things down, hire me.
Yeah.
I'm the biggest dummy you'll ever meet.
Yep.
So we'll dummy it right down together and make things simple. I don't like complicated situations. Usually complicated is expensive. 407-250-9144. That's 407-250-9144, or webringyouhome.com for the Lone Ranger, the biggest dummy in the industry.
All right. I want to talk about location. And this is something here. It's funny. I see something about how corner lots are more attractive. And this was an article in the Wall Street Times, Wall Street Journal. Disagree totally. You get a corner lot, Bruce, the house usually does look better. You got an elevation from 2 sides.
Absolutely.
It's kind of dressed up, but you know what you also got? Setbacks from both streets.
You do,
so you usually have a smaller yard.
You have more exposure. You have less privacy.
Yep.
A lot of people think a corner lot is better. I personally don't think it is.
These are the things that we can help you with on your resale value. You want to buy, if you can, you want to get a view, whether it's conservation, just woods, or whether it's perched on a hill, whether it's on a pond. All these different things come into play, and there are things to take into account. We talked about a 4-3. instead of a 4.2.5. What location can you get that in? Square footage. Single story instead of 2-story. More people will like your single
Well,
story
if you're
home.
retiring, you probably don't want another 2-story.
Yeah, and you got to watch that. You got to think about those things. So all this stuff comes up, and we can help you with that. Is something I had somebody just going into a whole big deal on, wait a minute, I want a reno home. I want to do a renovation loan. Well, why? If we've got homes out there that are perfect, spend your time doing what you're into, unless you're going to do the renovation
if you
yourself.
do find a house, let's just say you're looking in an area. You have to be in this particular area because your in-laws or whatever.
Yep.
But the only house that you really like is kind of a dump. Okay.
Yep.
It needs work, a lot of work.
Yep.
But the footprint's okay. Right? The footprint of the house is
that's
okay.
The case, yeah.
But you need a new kitchen, you need new bathrooms, you need new flooring.
Yeah.
It might need a roof, it might need plumbing, might need electrical.
Not a big deal. Yeah.
Then I can do a renovation loan on that. So you buy it, and I include all the cost of renovating it into the loan.
What I wouldn't go into is adding on a 400 square feet master bedroom to that home.
No,
things like that.
Oh, then buy a new home.
You're borrowing trouble, as one of my real estate coaches used to say.
Absolutely.
So, you don't want to do that. But
you got any more listings you want to talk about?
We're done through the
listings.
So
I want to talk about, what you and I always, because we've been self-employed ourselves, we're sensitive to self-employed buyers and sellers. And when it comes to buying real estate, you are at a disadvantage because you all have creative accountants. We know what that means. It means you're writing everything. I bet you I talk to somebody every single day of the week, and they'll call me on the self-employed. I got turned down, but I don't understand because I make a lot of money. I don't know. Your tax return said you made 26 grand last year. Okay. I'm like, no, I make 300 grand a year. Not according to the IRS. Well, what do you expect me to do? Pay more taxes? Listen, you have a choice. You can pay your taxes and you can show the income, and I can get you a conventional loan, or you can avoid paying your income taxes, write everything off, but you will be required to put 20 to 30% down, and you're going to pay a little bit higher interest rate. Not a lot, but a little bit higher interest rate. But I did the math for a client. He was making 500. He was only paying taxes on 100. I said, so you're not paying taxes on 400,000 at $25,000 per year, like 25%. That's an extra 100 grand. He goes, yeah, it would cost me an extra 100 grand. I said, so let's look at what you're paying in a payment for a non-conforming loan. And it was $7,500 per year. It cost him extra. So I'm like, dude, you're ahead of the game by $93,000 a year by getting a non-conforming loan. I've got them here. Bank statement, DSCRs, non-income qualifying.
You got a 1099 loan too.
I've got a 1099. If you've been 1099 for 2 years, Cleve, I will give you 90% of the 1099, which I guarantee I will stake an annual salary on it that nobody out there claims 90% of their 1099. You guys
do have the products, as you would say.
We've got the products. You know what I'm doing now? Reverse mortgages. Okay. Still doing lots of reverse mortgages. FHA for marginal credit, VA 100%, VA construction perms.
You got a reverse mortgage HELOC.
I got a reverse HELOC.
Yep.
Okay. Nobody's got, and guess I'm coming up with a reverse construction perm loan. I've never even heard of it.
Okay.
A reverse construction perm. We're going to develop it. We're going to come up with it. What you got, my friend?
I just want to talk about this. I think this year coming up will be one of those years where we see activity increase next week.
It's already increasing.
It is.
People are feeling better.
I've had a lot of
about
people
it.
Since the election. I've had more people calling me about listing plans they've had. They're ready to move forward. I haven't had the buyer traffic increase yet, so you need to fix those rates. But I think we're going to move into a better environment, and inventory will start to drop. Inventory has been it's virtually been the same for the past 1, 2, 3, 4 months. I'll have 5 months,
which is high inventory.
It's about almost a 5-month supply, which is the highest we've had probably.
I'm going to tell you, we are as close to a buyer's market right now as you could possibly get. They call it. They really call that we are in a balanced market, right? But I still think that with that much inventory, buyers have a huge advantage. You can negotiate closing costs, repairs, Now, granted, that's not the case on every house.
Yep.
Some of your houses,
and here's the
like
thing.
you'll sell them in a week at 97%.
Even though this is a softer market, Bruce, the 500, let's say the average house out there is 470. It's not selling for 450. It's not selling for 420. So realtors, when you go to write up that offer and the buyer wants to make an offer that's just ridiculously low, first of all, you need to be able to explain to them what to offer. So if you're in the virtual world, you don't have a sales manager near you can ask, or a training video you can watch on how to do a market analysis, check the last couple sales in the neighborhood and you'll see they were listed for 480 and they sold for 470. So don't let your buyer do that to themselves and start off on a bad foot negotiation.
Well, hire Cleve to begin with.
Yeah, exactly.
Cleve has a 50-point staging checklist. Now, listen, I know when he says that, it goes by quick, but you have to remember that's 50 points. He goes through 50 things on your house to make sure that he prices it to get the most he can.
And it shows well.
It shows better. Absolutely.
But also you've got to know what to offer on a house, where to market your house. We talked about being in the market or on the market. What's your market position? And then where you want to be, and watch that. I've listed a house, Bruce, at 450. And then 3 weeks later, I sit down with my seller and we look and, three of your neighbors came on at 445 and we didn't sell. And one of them did. That means we need to go to 442. 443.
Absolutely.
So all this advice is what you need. I have people calling me saying, hey, my realtor, I need somebody else because they want a $50,000 price reduction. So call me at 407-352-8118. Loveland Properties can help you if you're buying, selling, or you have rental properties to manage. We can help you with all that.
All right. So I want to kind of recap things because we've only got a few minutes left here. So we talked about the Fed's going to drop the Fed rate. We got about a 95% chance we're going to get a 1/4 point cut, which I think could have the reverse effect on interest rates for mortgages. We've seen it twice already. They got worse when the Fed cut the Fed rate. I expect that probably will happen again. So if you're not locked in, do it now. If you want to refinance to reduce your interest rate or eliminate PMI, don't refinance now. Wait. Things will get better, but you need to be on my VIP wait list. I will put you on my wait list. We will come up with a target rate and we will lock you in to that rate when that market hits that rate. Then we talked about Cleve's listings. Then we talked about his 50-point stage list. We talked about self-employed borrowers and you're writing off all your income on your taxes. I've got the products for you. We talked about Southern Homes in Lakeland and how they'll pay all your closing costs when you use the loan arranger. We talked about Trinity Family Builders. They'll pay your closing costs when you use the loan arranger. And if you are in trouble, you have equity in your home, and you are getting in trouble because you've overspent, but you have equity, call me immediately. Don't make any late payments on anything. We want to make sure we fix the problem before you have a late payment. Then we've got other products and things. We'll help people buy mobile homes. They're very popular right now. Build on your own lot, right? We can equity lines of credit.
And now is the time to be on. I've already written deals for January, Bruce. So 2025 is already off to a better start than it was last year. Last December was pretty, I'd say, mild on the real estate side. I've been very busy, working 6 days a week on this. And right now, getting on the market, your buyer's going to close the end of January, February. So you want to get out there, take a shot. January, usually you do get some more people listing. I think we'll see more of that. I think now's a good time. It's a good time to get out there.
If you do not own a home right now and you have the desire to do it, I don't want you to wait don't fix your own credit. Whatever you do, don't fix your own credit. I'll help you fix your credit. Okay. But if you want to buy, do yourself a favor. Stop procrastinating and call me right now. I promise you, I will help you. I will do everything I can to help you get the best possible interest rate and get you into a home. And if you're a move-up buyer and you've been sitting on the sidelines waiting for prices to drop or interest rates to drop, it's time to stop waiting and get in the market now. Now's the time. And if you want a great real estate plan, call Cleve and I. We can help you. And if you want to join our class on January 22nd, 6:30, live and in person, 407 250-9144 or webringyouhome.com.
Or Loveland Properties, 407-352-8118 or cleveloveland.com. Have a great weekend. Happy holidays. We'll be back next week.
Yep. God bless. Thank you for listening.